Have you ever found yourself lying awake at night, staring at the ceiling, and wondering why you feel so drained after spending time with someone who is supposed to make your life better, not harder? It's not an easy thought to admit out loud, but it's one many of us face, especially as we grow older. By the time we've reached our 60s, we've invested decades into friendships, marriages, or family relationships. And the idea of letting go can feel almost unthinkable. Yet deep down, sometimes we know the truth. Not every relationship is meant to last forever, and some may no longer be serving who we've become. I want you to think about this for a moment. At this stage of life, our energy is precious. Every laugh, every conversation, every embrace should lift us up, not weigh us down. So when a relationship feels more like a burden than a blessing, it's worth asking, is it time to let go? That's exactly what we're going to explore together today. We'll talk about 5 powerful signs that may reveal when a relationship no longer serves you, and I'll share stories and reflections to help you recognize these patterns in your own life. This isn't about giving up on people or cutting ties recklessly. It's about honoring yourself, your peace, and your happiness. The first sign is that the relationship drains more energy than it gives. Picture this: you meet a friend for coffee, but instead of leaving the cafe feeling lighter, you leave feeling exhausted. Maybe the conversation was full of complaints. Maybe you didn't feel heard. Or maybe you realized you were the one doing all the emotional heavy lifting. That kind of imbalance takes a toll. Relationships, especially as we age, should be about mutual support, not one-sided emotional labor. If someone consistently drains you, it's worth questioning whether keeping that bond is healthy. Imagine how much lighter life could feel if you surrounded yourself with people who brought joy and positivity instead of constant heaviness. Another sign is when respect is gone. Respect is the foundation of any relationship, whether it's with a spouse, a friend, or even an adult child. Without it, there's no trust, no safety, no true closeness. If you find yourself constantly belittled, dismissed, or made to feel small, it's a red flag that cannot be ignored. I once spoke with a woman in her late 60s who told me she stayed in a long friendship simply because of the years they had shared. But every time she expressed her dreams or feelings, her friend would laugh it off or cut her down. One day, she asked herself, "Why am I holding on to someone who doesn't see me for who I am today?" That question alone gave her the courage to step back. And she later said she felt 10 years younger just from releasing that weight. It's also important to recognize when growth has stopped. As human beings, we're always evolving, no matter our age. The idea that growth stops at retirement is simply untrue. Many of us discover new passions, new hobbies, and even new careers later in life. But when a relationship keeps pulling you back to old versions of yourself or refuses to honor your growth, it can become suffocating. Think about it. Have you ever felt like someone only sees you as who you were decades ago, ignoring the wisdom and strength you carry now? That inability to grow together can quietly erode connection, leaving you stuck in a cycle that doesn't honor your true self. Letting go is never about bitterness. It's about reclaiming space for the relationships that do nurture us. By noticing when energy is drained, when respect is missing, and when growth has stalled, we begin to see the picture more clearly. These are not little inconveniences. They are signs our soul is whispering to us, asking for change. And listening to that whisper may be one of the bravest acts of self-love we can do at this stage of life. Now that we've touched on what it feels like to be drained, disrespected, or held back from growing, let's continue exploring the deeper signals that reveal when a relationship no longer serves you and what that means for your path forward. Sometimes the heart knows long before the mind is willing to admit it. You might notice yourself dreading the phone call from a certain person or feeling a knot in your stomach when you know you'll have to spend time with them. That's not just stress, it's your body and spirit telling you something's not right. One of the clearest signs a relationship no longer serves you is when your joy consistently disappears in that person's presence. Relationships should bring out the best in you. They should make you feel seen, supported, and valued. But when laughter fades into constant tension, when comfort turns into unease, it's like walking on eggshells every time. No one deserves to live in that kind of silence where joy once lived. Another signal, and this is a painful one, is when you feel lonelier inside the relationship than you would on your own. Loneliness isn't always about being physically alone. It's about feeling emotionally disconnected. You can be sitting right next to a spouse, a friend, or even a family member, yet feel miles apart. Conversations become shallow, gestures feel obligatory, and the warmth you once shared has turned cold. Many people stay because they fear the idea of being alone, especially later in life. But the truth is, loneliness inside a broken relationship often cuts deeper than the quiet of solitude. Being alone can give you space to heal, to rediscover yourself, and to open doors to new connections that actually nourish your soul. There's also the sign of constant conflict without resolution. Disagreements are normal. We're human, after all. But when every conversation feels like a battle and no understanding ever seems to come, it chips away at your spirit. If you find yourself replaying arguments in your head, feeling misunderstood again and again, it might be because the relationship has reached a place where neither side can hear the other anymore. At our age, peace of mind is not a luxury, it's a necessity. You deserve mornings that begin with calm and evenings that end with gratitude, not endless cycles of conflict that leave you worn thin. And then, perhaps the most profound sign of all, when staying in the relationship keeps you from becoming who you're meant to be. This goes beyond conflict, beyond loneliness. It's about your future. If you're constantly shrinking yourself, holding back your voice, or abandoning your dreams just to keep the relationship afloat, then the cost is too high. Life after 60 is not the time to dim your light. It's the time to let it shine brighter than ever. I think of a man I once met who had always loved painting, but gave it up because his partner mocked his silly hobby. For years, he carried that quiet ache. When he finally found the courage to step away, he picked up the brush again, and his eyes lit up like a boy's. He told me, "I didn't just leave the relationship, I came back to myself." Letting go doesn't mean we stop caring about the person. It means we start caring for ourselves, maybe for the first time in a long while. It's not about blaming or punishing. It's about choosing a path where love can actually breathe again, whether that's through healing on your own or making space for healthier connections. These signs, joy fading, loneliness deepening, conflict repeating, and your true self being stifled, are like guideposts. They don't scream at you, but they whisper consistently, asking if this relationship is still serving your highest good. When we notice these guideposts and allow ourselves to listen, something beautiful begins to happen. We start imagining life differently, not in fear, but in hope. Hope for mornings that feel light again, for friendships that lift us higher, for love that doesn't demand we give ourselves away just to keep it alive. And that hope, my friend, is the first step toward freedom. As we move forward, let's take these reflections deeper, looking not only at the signs, but also at the choices that come after and how they can lead us to peace, renewal, and a life filled with more love than we may have thought possible. When you begin to notice these truths settling into your heart, there often comes a quiet moment of reckoning. It may happen while you're washing dishes or during a walk when the air feels clearer than usual. Suddenly, you realize you've been carrying a relationship like a heavy backpack, one that you didn't even notice was weighing you down because you'd grown so used to its presence. The thought that comes next is the one many of us resist. Maybe it's time to set it down. The idea of letting go can feel terrifying, especially if the relationship has spanned decades. We ask ourselves, what will life look like without them? Who will I turn to when I need someone? Will I regret it later? These questions are natural, but they can also trap us in fear. What I want to share with you is that letting go is not about erasing history or pretending the love, the laughter, or the memories never happened. It's about acknowledging that seasons change and not every relationship is meant to last a lifetime. Some enter our lives to teach us, to guide us through a chapter, and when the lesson is complete, holding on too tightly can actually stop us from living fully in the present. It's worth remembering that letting go doesn't always mean cutting ties entirely. Sometimes it's about shifting boundaries, choosing to see someone less often, deciding not to engage in the same draining conversations, or allowing more emotional distance. In other cases, it may indeed mean stepping away completely. Either way, the essence of letting go is about creating space for peace, for growth, and for healthier forms of connection. At 60, 70, or beyond, you've earned the right to prioritize peace over chaos and love over obligation. I once spoke with a man in his early 70s who described the turning point in his marriage. He said, "I kept waiting for things to change, but every year felt heavier. One day, I asked myself, if I had 10 years left, would I want to spend them like this?" And the answer was no. That question can be powerful for all of us. We don't know exactly how much time we have left, but we do know it's too precious to spend trapped in relationships that hurt more than they heal. When you choose to let go, there will be grief. Even if you're the one making the decision, it's still a loss. Give yourself permission to feel that sadness without shame. It means you cared. But grief is not the end of the story. Beyond it lies freedom, the freedom to rediscover who you are without the constant weight of a relationship that no longer fits. It's like stepping into a room filled with light after years of dimness. You begin to notice small joys again, the taste of morning coffee, the warmth of the sun, the way laughter comes more easily when you're with people who truly appreciate you. The beauty of this stage in life is that it offers a chance to rewrite the narrative. You don't have to be defined by past choices, old commitments, or other people's expectations. You get to decide how the next chapter looks. For some, that might mean embracing solitude as a gift rather than a punishment. For others, it could mean opening the heart to new friendships, new communities, or even new love. The important thing is that your life begins to align with who you really are, not who you've been pressured to be. Letting go is never easy, but it is often the doorway to becoming more fully alive. And as the days move forward, you may find yourself asking, not, "Why did I let go?" but rather, "Why did I wait so long to choose myself?" And so, as we close this reflection, we stand at a point of choice. You've seen the signs, you've felt their weight, and now you know they are not coincidences, but gentle nudges from your soul. The question is no longer whether a relationship serves you. The question is whether you are ready to honor the truth you already carry inside. Because once you do, the path to peace and renewal opens wide. And life has a way of meeting you there with more love, joy, and freedom than you ever thought possible. There's something remarkable that happens when you finally give yourself permission to release what no longer fits. At first, it may feel like stepping out onto unfamiliar ground, shaky and uncertain. But slowly, the ground steadies beneath your feet. You begin to notice the quiet spaces in your life filling not with fear, but with possibility. The mornings are lighter, the evenings feel less heavy. You start to see yourself again, not as someone bound by the weight of an unfulfilling relationship, but as a whole person with dreams, wisdom, and so much love still to give. And here's the truth. Letting go is not an ending, it's an opening. It's the beginning of a chapter that honors who you've become and where you're headed. You've weathered storms, you've endured heartaches, and yet here you are. Still standing, still capable of joy, still deserving of companionship that lifts you higher. Imagine the kind of relationships you can welcome when you no longer cling to ones that keep you small. Friendships built on laughter instead of criticism. Family bonds rooted in respect instead of duty. Even love that arrives gently and unexpectedly, reminding you that it's never too late to feel cherished. In this new space, self-love becomes your compass. When you treat yourself with kindness and dignity, you begin to attract people who do the same. You realize that your value isn't measured by how much you sacrifice for others, but by the fullness of your presence in this world. Every wrinkle on your face, every story etched in your memory, is proof of a life lived. And that life deserves joy. That life deserves peace. That life deserves love. So if you've been wondering whether it's time to let go, I want to remind you of this. Choosing yourself is not selfish. It is one of the most courageous acts of love you can offer not only to yourself, but also to those around you. Because when you are free, when you are living authentically, you become an inspiration to others who are silently struggling too. You show them that it's possible to step out of the shadows and into the light, no matter what age you are. As we close this conversation, I hope you carry with you the reminder that your life, right here and now, still holds endless potential. The relationships that truly serve you will feel like sunlight. They will warm you, help you grow, and give you strength. The ones that don't will only keep you in the shade. You get to choose where you want to stand. If this message has touched you, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Share your experiences, your struggles, your victories, because your story might be the encouragement someone else needs today. And if you found this conversation meaningful, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more heartfelt guidance and inspiration. Above all, remember this: you are never too old to choose peace, never too late to choose love, and never too far along to start anew. Here's to letting go of what no longer serves you and to stepping into a future filled with light, freedom, and the kind of joy you truly deserve.